All right, we're set.
Okay. Oh, we're starting?
Yeah.
Do you want to start, Brianna, or do you want to?
Sure, I can start. Okay, so... Oh, do we have to introduce ourselves again?
No, because it's already on the other video.
Okay. So, for my article, it is titled, Why So Negative? Positive Flashbulb Memories for a Personal Event. So, the first part of the article's title is Why So Negative? And this is because in the article, the prediction was that majority of the flashbulb memories that are recovered are negative, like 9/11, the JFK assassination, the El Paso shooting, Columbine shooting, a lot of the negative events that affected us personally, I guess, and how we felt towards those events. Just a little, I guess, recap. Flashbulb memories are highly vivid and long-lasting memories. They're usually emotionally significant and personally important, so it's what makes us feel more gravitated towards them, which makes us remember them more. And so this study that I read, or the article, it was a study conducted in the University of North Texas in Denton with 122 undergrad students. So with this experiment, they asked them a whole bunch of questions regarding their flashbulb memory. So they would record their flashbulb memory and then ask them specific questions after the fact. So some of the questions that were asked were, where did the news come from? What day of the week it was? What was the weather like? And where were you? So when I think of memories, I just think, oh, this is what happened. But I don't have good memory, so I wouldn't know what the weather was like or any of these specific questions. So I don't know how accurate this study was conducted, but the results ended up being that more positive memories were remembered, and I feel like they were more remembered positively because of how many questions they were able to answer accordingly. So yes, negative flashbulb memory, you can remember what happened that day, where were you, but on happier, more positive memories, you're able to know more of, I guess, the weather and the day of the week. You tend to know more about that situation. So that was mainly my article. I guess do I start with the questions already?
Yeah.
Okay, so, the first one was, why do you guys think negative flashbulb memories are remembered more often than others, I guess?
I
would say because of the shock.
Oh, sorry, go.
I was just going to say that just because of the shock of when something bad happens to you. It's not every day that you have something bad happens to you, but something good happens to you, or maybe normal, or that's not upsetting, happens every day. So when something different, like something shocking or upsetting, you remember it because it's not often, no? Right. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The emotional factor, I feel.
There.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something it's so rarely. Like, it doesn't happen as much as your positive memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much more detail into it. Like, the negative has a lot of, oh my God, so then this happened, and then that also happened. And when it's more positive, you just focus on what made you feel, like how Miguel said, like, it's emotional, you know what you went through, so that's why it has a bigger effect on why you remember it negatively.
I agree.
You don't think that also maybe has to do with when happy stuff or like normal, not negative stuff happens to you? Normally it's just like, or like, let's say when bad stuff happens, it usually involves other people.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get upset all by yourself. Normally it's somebody who's messing with you or pissing you off or something. So I think maybe, or like, you get good news, maybe you just got it on the phone and only you heard it. But when something bad happens, there's always somebody else involved. So maybe I think that's why you remember it also with so much detail, because there's others involved in your moment of anger or sadness or something bad happened to someone, so you remember that it involves somebody else.
Right.
That's true.
I think it's crazy though that I think it's crazy though that negative flashbulb memories come up though, because like we like to rehearse the positive ones. Like I don't think we like to think about the negative too much, but like.
But the positive, we're rehearsing them. We're bringing those. We're going back in there and grabbing those memories and bringing them out. The flashbulb isn't it something that just happens, like just flashes across your memory, like suddenly.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a big part.
I think so many positive things happen, hopefully throughout our days, that when something particularly negative happens, we're going to hang on to that much more because it's like Claudia said, surprising. It's something out of the ordinary, and it shakes us a little bit more. So we're going to be more susceptible to remembering, I think.
Yep.
That's true.
Okay. So then my second question would be, do you remember your childhood memories from your own memory or from photos, videos you've seen that your parents have showed you or family members have showed you, or something you've heard that you just stick with that story and end up telling everybody else?
I mainly see it because, I mean, we talked about the youngest memory we've had, so I feel like that's as much as we can go, like, back. But yeah, I mean, videos and pictures and what our parents tell me is when we were younger, then yeah, I'll believe it because it happened. It was on video. But me personally, I won't remember it, but I remember seeing it from them showing me. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I see it. Like, I don't think I would personally remember myself, but seeing it shown to me, then yes, of course, I'll remember that.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I feel like it's a mixture of like both. Like I'll try to remember it myself. I'll remember like a majority of it myself, but then it helps to be reinforced that like from like pictures and memories, the same thing. Like that, yeah, it actually did happen and happen in this way.
Right.
From all the pictures that I've seen from when I was a child or anything like that, I don't remember any of them being taken. Like, I don't remember that moment. I only know of them because I see the picture, but I don't remember any of them.
Yeah, just like you, when you see pictures, you're like, when the heck did that happen? You can't really... I believe I let pictures activate, like, they're like cues, I guess.
Right.
The cues activate the memories in your mind. So, yes.
I agree. I've never been able to, like, see a picture and remember that day or remember the picture being taken. But if, like, my mom tells me a little bit more about it, then I'll be like, oh, okay, I remember now. And I feel,
Yeah, that's I guess the same with me. Like, it is my own memories that I can recall, but then when I look at a photo or something, it kind of changes it in the way I think about it sometimes. Like, oh, maybe I was doing this at this time. So I guess it does go both ways.
Is it hard for you guys to remember the dates though? Like the time and everything?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder why that's so.
Yeah, in the first, like, activity when we did the flashbulb memory, I think it was, like, when we had to know the day and our age or something, I had to do the math. Because, like, I knew when it was, like, in second grade, my memory, but I had to, like, go back, like, how old was I in second grade? So, yeah, I have to do the math or something to make it all
I guess because, like, in the memory, you don't see, like, a calendar or, like, a time.
Right.
It's kind of just, like, another day.
It's like dreams.
Yeah.
that's very true.
Okay, so I'll just go on to question number 3, which is, do you remember your favorite teacher's name?
Yes. Clearly.
Oh, okay.
Because this person must have had impact on your life somehow or some way.
Yes.
I remember her. And this was my first grade teacher, so I was like 6. So I'm 40 now. what, like 34 years? And I still remember her.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the rest.
I feel like it's because that had such like big impact in your life. Obviously, you know, they're always gonna be there in your mind. You know, sometimes you're gonna be thinking like, oh my god, yeah, that's true. You know, like how I was saying, mine was in 3rd grade, and she was a reason why I was more positive with everything in life, because how we grew up here in my house, like everything was so negative. Everything was, you know, if you went outside, like you have to think like, oh my god, anything can happen. Like we were always so negative, so she always made me think like, no, you know what, it's not always like that. Like you have to always be, you know, think of the good, think of, you know, what could happen if you step outside, you know, like you could feel more healthier, you can be more happier, you know, mentally. And, you know, thinking negatively also affects you mentally, and that's what was affecting me back then. So that's why I hold her really close to my heart, especially because, and then I was also saying because we have the same birthdays almost, and because yeah, and she used to be my coach later on in life in volleyball, so yeah, that's why she's close to me.
It feels like a sign of deja vu, but
we had this already. I
let's do it again.
don't know if they'll see this, but we already did this.
And when I mentioned that a lot of my teachers, I don't think I had a favorite, but I mean the majority of my teachers that I liked more than others were like all in elementary school. I don't know, because like you're smaller and like they treat you nicer, like they treat you differently than they do in elementary than in other grades, but the majority of them are in elementary.
For sure.
So I couldn't pick a favorite.